How's it going, everybody? It's your favorite apostates. It is almost Christmas. It's already Hanukkah. We just had Yule. Is it Yuletide? What's the deal?
Winter solstice.
Winter solstice.
Yule today. We are filming December 21st.
Yeah, so it is, the holidays are upon us. Kwanzaa, I think, is next week. So happy holidays to everybody. We hope it's a good time. If you have family over, my condolences, or for those that applies to. And also, I hope you have a great time for those that applies to. If you don't have anybody over, enjoy your own company. You know, the cold weather is upon us. I guess there's like a historic cold, what do you call that? Cold snap going on for Christmas this year. So stay warm, everybody. Anyway, before we get started, the one thing I have is a reminder about the new merch store that is on not Teespring anymore. It is now on Fourth Wall. So you can find that. I'm going to put the link up right below because I can't think of what it is off the top of my head, but it's like Jordan-and-McKay-shop.fourthwall.com or something like that. We'll see if I got it right or not when I edit this. But check out these awesome new designs. I'm going to throw them up here real quick. We have old designs. We have new designs. They're all printed on Bella and Canvas. They're great. I think the quality has shot up a bunch, and the prices have actually come down. So I'm seeing orders from mostly international. So I'm guessing, I know for a fact it ships to Germany and Canada. So get your orders in. It's awesome. It's lit. Take it away, Jordan.
Okay. So today we are throwing it back to two lovely individuals who we have not talked about for a while. Their names are Nate and Sutton. And boy, do they pain me.
We backed off of them for a while. They were going through some heavy personal stuff, so we're like, you know what? It's kind of punching down. But time has passed. So
lots of time has
we're
passed.
going to go back around. There's been a lot of stuff happening. 5 months ago, they moved into their dream home.
We made it!
Waking him up.
We have made it to our new house. This has been such a difficult journey. We'll be sharing the story with you guys shortly, but it was not easy getting to this point. But we just closed down the house, didn't we?
Thank God we made it.
Oh.
And then after buying their brand new house, which I think was valued at well over $1 million, according to a Reddit post that we read recently. So shout out to whoever that was on Funny Snark Uncensored.
We'll throw up the post whoever did it gets credit.
Probably link it too. During that time when they were moving, they were homeless.
I'll get into all the details of it. The last couple of weeks, as you guys know, me and Sutton and the boys were left homeless. We were without a house for a week. We sold our house, and the very next day we were supposed to move in this one, but due to all kind of craziness and attacks, there was a delay in closing, and so we were homeless for a week. And
maybe not really homeless is the word to use. But I guess if you want to get down to semantics, I guess, yeah. And then even more recently than all of that, they are selling the house.
Some shame and embarrassment with this, like telling everyone basically we made a mistake and it was a big expensive mistake. But this is just in hopes that other people could learn from our mistakes and we could be a testimony to the fact that you may think that you want like a really nice house and it is great, but it's just not worth what you're trading for it.
Yeah, and it's actually such good news. Like, it's great news to me, and it should be great news to you too, because like I have put so much pressure on myself for so many years of like what it takes to get there, and then I can be happy, and then I can be content. And even when we bought this house, I've had dreams of going bigger and more in the future, and like the amount of pressure that puts on a person that you have to perform, like you have to make a certain amount of money, you have to do this, you have to do that, and then once you reach your destination, then you can really start living.
So I didn't watch that video, but basically they're saying that their house is too expensive and they can't afford it. Is that what they're saying?
Yes, and that was what that same Reddit post was referencing. They essentially, I mean, their views are down to our level, and they have well over twice the amount of subscribers. So they're faltering in that sense. Their other thing that's really been their big moneymaker, aside from YouTube, has been their wedding videography business. And it seems like they're not really doing that as much, or at least they're not
posting about it on Instagram as much.
Yeah, and that's part of your brand, is posting your work on your social medias. So I'm assuming that has kind of gone downhill. And I don't blame them. If they were doing, I mean, they were traveling and doing all this shit for videography, you get burned out. You just don't want to be doing it anymore. They have kids, so they can't both go and do it all the time. Nate was doing it by himself on a couple occasions. We made fun of him in a different video where he was like crying that he might not come back to see his kids, even though he's filming while he's driving, which is a major hazard and reason why you wouldn't come back to see your kids. But it sounds like they got a little too in over their heads because things are faltering and they're having to sell the house, which...
And here's the nice thing about not sharing every waking moment of your life on the internet, because if they did not share their home or pictures of their kids or constantly film in the same area of a certain home, if they didn't do that, they wouldn't have even had to tell anybody.
Yep.
Save the shame and embarrassment for like personal family members and friends who know, but the internet wouldn't have to know. But these two post all the fucking time in their house, and so they know they have to make this video because their followers are gonna be like, wait, isn't your house, where are you? Like, yeah, you set yourself up.
You played yourselves, honestly. It was just so funny to see the cope of Nate trying to make,
but it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that I got so lost in the fucking sauce that I was just working to get a bigger house and blah blah blah, all this stuff, which their old house was just based off of the open area that they were filming in all the time, not something to be gawked at by any means. It was not small. It's bigger than the house that we rent. So there's that. And then they just move into this god-awful, like, white out nightmare. And 5 months later, they're having to move out because they got in over their heads. So, honestly, I hope they don't go homeless or at least unhoused, which they're probably going to land on their feet. But
I don't know why. Like, are they trying to generate sympathy for their situation? Because it's like, oh, you poor babies couldn't afford to live in your $1 million house. Cry me a fucking river. Seriously.
Anyway, that was just a little recap of what's been going on with them lately. We're going to react to a video that they posted. Recently, we came across a clip that was kind of concerning that's in this video, so we just wanted to react to the whole thing, and we'll talk about that a little bit when it comes up. Let's do a transition, and then we'll get going. Okay, just before we go, Sutton is me, basically anytime during the day. That's me. Ready?
This face or like her
this
personality?
Face.
Oh, okay.
This face is me.
Okay.
Is there stuff in my teeth? Okay. What's up, guys? Nate and Sutton back with another video, and today we're flipping the script on Sutton. You guys came after me last time, asking all the questions that...
Oh, by the way, the title of this is Question Guys Are Too Afraid to Ask Girls.
Who are they, Paul and Morgan?
I'm a little nervous for
girls
this.
Girls are too afraid to ask guys. Well, now the guys are coming after you. It's all the question guys are too afraid to ask girls.
Yeah, we actually had no plans on doing this video, but on that one, there was some comments from guys saying, like, do this the other way around, and we were like, maybe we should do it the other way around. So we'll see how...
No plans of doing it the other way around? That's what she said.
Why do you think? Because he doesn't listen to Sutton. She says like 5 sentences in any given video. So a video dedicated to her having to speak?
Yeah.
Nah, brah.
The house sale cope video, she actually was talking a lot, and I think it's because the whole house situation was his L. That's 100% conjecture, but it did seem funny that seems to be the only time where I've seen her talk.
Her sweater is cute, though.
You should get a sweater like that.
It's very cute.
It goes.
And should we put the disclaimer out there?
We gotta put the disclaimer.
We're
We
taking
need, like,
we're taking our
flashing lights.
we're taking our disclaimers to another level.
The disclaimer is that I am answering these questions as myself, and I am not claiming to be every girl on the planet.
And just for your entertainment, even after
Okay,
saying
why are we calling this question guys are too afraid to ask girls instead of question guys are too afraid to ask Sutton?
Yeah. Because that doesn't pull views.
That's fair. And they are clickbait amazingness.
We need to start clickbaiting.
Awesomeness. We need to clickbait better.
We did a clickbait on, I think the last video we did of them is like a making fun of them. And then they mentioned us in the video.
did.
Very subtly, but it was there.
Funny. Yeah.
scroll through the comments, and most likely you will still see people saying, "I can't believe you're saying all girls feel this way."
I'm going to say
It's
that.
just-
I don't care.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, some of them I may answer as like me, and then what I would say that most girls would say, like that's kind of how he did his, just to make it a little more interesting. But I'm not claiming that I am every girl's answers.
If you go back and watch the video where
Oh.
I was the one answering the
Hell of a
questions,
jump
I said
cut.
this in the beginning of the video that
If that's how they're doing their jump cuts, I'm kind of concerned about the work that they're doing videography-wise.
That was bad.
Yeah, seriously.
I think you said at the end too. You said it twice.
Yeah. lazy.
this is just my opinion, and I'm not representing all guys. And still, we got so many comments, people being like, "I can't believe you're saying guys feel this way." This is just Sutton's opinion. Okay.
So what the f*** is the video? Just say our take on these questions or something. Again, I'm already answering my own questions here. It's clickbait. It's content.
All right.
I guess we do the same.
So let's do it. Does height matter to girls?
Let's have Jordan answer these questions at the same time. I think that'd be
Okay.
funny. This is spur of the moment.
Like, to me or to girls in general?
Answer it as if you were in Sutton's place right now.
I don't want to answer it like that. Because her
Okay.
answer and my answer is going to be different.
Okay. Well, we'll share their disclaimer. And Jordan is not a monolith. She's not speaking for all women. Go
No.
ahead. Let's hear it.
My opinion is that most people that I've interacted with over time, and I was once in a sorority with a lot of women, that height does matter. And to some people it doesn't, and I don't think it should. But for a lot of people, it is very much the case, especially in the college dating scene, in a sorority and being around a lot of frat boys. It was commonly accepted that if you weren't over 6 feet, then girls weren't going to be interested in you. So that's just kind of the vibe. I don't think it should matter, but does it? It kind of does.
I'm lucky Jordan accepted me
You're like 6'3".
despite my height. Shh. They don't know that.
They do, because
I'm
anytime I post a picture on
I'm
Instagram, everybody's like, what the f***?
I'm very short. I'm 5'5".
I'm 5'3". There is a foot height difference between the two of us. And it is very obvious in pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, for this one, I would hate to sound like shallow, but for me, I would say yes, it matters to me.
Well, at least she was honest.
There we
Not
go.
so much that it's like a deal breaker. Like I've dated guys that I consider to be like on the shorter end. They're still taller than me, but like not much taller than me. And I dated them for like a year, so it obviously didn't bother me that bad. But it was always kind of there that like I wish that they were taller.
So if you met me with all that I am and I was shorter or the same height as you, how do you think that would have affected our relationship?
He's got the chiseled jawline. It's all right. He'd be doing okay.
He's just fishing for compliments at
I
this
know.
point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a deal breaker. Like if I knew him and he was all that he is, I would still be with him. But it would always be there. Like it would always be in my mind. Like I wish you were taller. Because I feel like for me, I'm maybe on the taller.
He's like, wow. Red
And for a
flag.
girl, I'm like 5'7", and so I
that
just
another
don't
jump
want to
cut?
feel like I am like the
Bad.
big masculine one.
We don't count the jump cuts because we think we're better or whatever, but we count them when it's like so fucking noticeable.
It's startling.
Next to a guy that I'm with.
What's more attractive? Outgoing, crazy extroverts or a quieter, perhaps shy introvert?
I feel like I like a mix of both. Like
This is
one
so
of my favorite.
like if we're thinking of it generally, like they tried to make the video out to be like questions guys are afraid to ask girls. Like that question is entirely based on preference. That isn't even like a general thing like height. It's like personality. Yeah. Like introvert, extrovert, like.
So what is it, Jordan?
I'm an introvert, so I prefer introverted people. That's just me though.
There you go.
That's not one where
That's
I'm like,
me.
generally speaking, I feel like, because plenty of people in both camps do the opposite or the same, or, you know, like it doesn't really matter. Like it just is your preference.
Qualities in someone is like being funny. I am so attracted, like in my friends, in him, anyone.
Why'd you marry Nate?
Can introverts
Got
not
him.
be funny?
No, not allowed.
Wow.
Just look at me. I'm unfunny as hell. I'm so boring. So boring.
I just love funny people, and I feel like I'm not really that funny, so maybe that's why I like it so much. It's because I want to laugh at
Nate's
somebody.
like, no, you're not.
So I like the outgoing, like crazy, funny kind of person. But then I
Nate's
also think
distracted
there's something
now.
very attractive about being quiet and reserved and more like mysterious. But I would like that person to have the outgoing side, like not fully introvert, because I feel like that's hard to get to know and hard for me to personally connect with. I think a good little mix is the best.
How would you describe me?
You are a mix. I think you're overall introvert.
It always comes back to Nate. Like if she's talking,
Seriously.
he's like zoning out, like looking at other shit. It's like insert clip of Kristen talking about something important to her with her infertility struggles, and Bethany's like playing with her f***ing fingers.
Hitting herself in the face with a folder.
It's like, that's the vibes. Like he doesn't pay attention unless it concerns him. And if it's not something that concerns him, he has to make it about himself. So he didn't listen to like a god f***ing damn thing she said, but then he's like, so what am I?
Oh, what am I?
And then suddenly he's interested.
Some analysis, some
But you have
self-analysis.
extrovert in you. It's just like, who gets to see it? Who gets to be the lucky?
I think that's what being introverted means.
They're just...
It's not like, oh, nobody gets to know me. It's like, who am I allowed to be safe being myself with, I guess.
Lucky one that witnesses his extrovert side.
Do you think I'm funny?
Yeah.
You do? Nice.
What the fuck?
This sounds
is
like
so
some
awkward.
dude at fucking
Like, is he
in
this...
high school, like, you think I'm funny? Nice.
It's just like, does he do this all the time? Like, does she never compliment him? And so he's always like, do you think I'm funny?
How do you compliment someone who never lets you get a word in edgewise?
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, you don't know that?
I don't know.
Like, I'm always laughing at you.
When is leading a relationship too much?
Would you like...
What the f*** does that mean?
Leading? What does that even mean?
have an
Let's figure it
example
out.
of what that would be like?
Maybe like always trying to make the decision, or always thinking that my choice comes before yours.
Yeah, I think that as a Christian leader, like if you're trying to be a biblical Christian leader, it's like God is leading you, and then you're leading your family and your wife. And if you're being all demanding and like, I don't know, not listening to her opinion too, I don't feel like you're leading in the way that God would want you to. I think that God made you guys partners and made you a team, and so you talk about things together, but ultimately, I would say, I mean, we pretty much agree on everything. Like, if your values are aligned and your husband is leading you, like, you want to be led in that direction. I think in our whole 5 years of marriage, we had one time
He's not listening to a damn thing
that
she's
I
saying.
thought one thing hardcore and he thought something else hardcore, and we were not agreeing. And we asked our counselor, like, what do we do? Because I think one thing, he thinks another thing. This is never.
Oh, so they went to marriage therapy, presumably.
A little change up there.
Which, happy to hear. Hell
to
fucking
hear.
yeah.
Especially with some of the stories these people tell. at times. I'm like, Jesus
I don't know how much
Christ.
of a difference it made, though, if it was in the past, because Jesus, he's still freaking awful.
happened, and he was like, you guys need to decide, like, who's the leader, who's the decision maker. And
Oh,
you
no,
just have to
no,
go
no,
with what
no,
they
no,
say.
no, 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 no.
No.
No, they did not go to a regular counselor then.
They went
That
to-
was a Christian counselor or a pastor, because...
Or a counselor.
Or you went to a shitty fucking therapist, because I would never say that. If a couple comes to me in session and they're like, we can't agree on this issue, I'm not going to be like, well, who makes the decisions?
There needs to be a dominant one and a submissive one.
No!
And you guys need to choose. Yeah, what kind of that's not a partnership. That's a fucking...
Dictatorship.
Yeah, for real.
Like-
Like a boss employee situation,
Well, why
Power
would she
dynamic.
talk if her opinion doesn't fucking matter?
right? She's not the leader, so what does it matter?
No. That's just disappointing. You can compromise without giving up your position, by the way.
So we chose Nathaniel, and his idea went,
Of fucking course.
It did?
yeah, we want to pause the question.
Go back. I loved
never
that for
happened.
her.
And he was like, you guys need to decide, like, who's the leader, who's the decision maker, and you just have to go with what they say. So we chose Nathaniel, and his idea went,
It did?
yeah, we want to
He doesn't even fucking know.
He doesn't even fucking know. He heard that noise and started paying attention. He doesn't even know what
He's
she's
like,
talking about.
what? Who?
What?
And then nothing gets addressed. That was a dumb question. Jordan's not answering that one.
No,
Unless
that's
you want
stupid.
to.
No, that's
We're a partnership, and Jordan can answer it if she wants. It is
that's
a dumb question, though.
fucking stupid. There isn't a leader. Like, if you're truly in a healthy partnership, like, everybody should be able to make their own decisions, but there should also be a decision-making process for you two as a team where one isn't, like, in charge of every decision and making all the decisions. Like, it shouldn't be that because Nate has the penis that he makes all the decisions. Like,
Penis equals priesthood.
pause the questions and take a second
Is this
to
an ad?
think.
No.
blah.
Is that a fucking movie?
Yes.
What the I'm gonna blur it. I'm not giving anybody free
Nah.
publicity. That noise.
Stupid Christian movie.
I would like to take a moment to remind everybody that Nate and Sutton are taking money from literally Focus on the Family. So if you don't know what Focus on the Family is, I'm gonna link the Fundy Fridays video about Focus on the Family that paints a rather disgusting picture about what Focus on the Family is. But yeah, they had a sponsored video from them just a couple months ago. Also, BetterHelp.
Surprising? Not really. BetterHelp.
Better Health.
Okay, back to the questions.
Help.
Next question. Humble or cocky?
That's another one that I
Are you serious?
There could be more than just those two. Everything's a fucking binary in these people's minds. Everything.
Yeah, like, what does that even mean? Because
Answer it, Jordan. You have to answer this one. I don't care how dumb it is.
humble. I don't want to be with a pretentious asshole that
I'm
thinks
not-
because he has a dick, he makes all the choices.
I'm the most humble person I know.
You are very humble.
feel like could go both ways. Like, I would like someone that is overall humble, but they carry like a quiet confidence.
And that somebody ain't Nate.
Nothing quiet about him. One loud person to another. That's just
About
how
them.
it is.
Like, you look at them and you know they're confident. Like, you don't think like, oh, they're really insecure, but they're also not flaunting that about and talking about how great they are. It's just like, you just know how great they are because you're watching them, you know?
What is
That's the
first
in-between.
thing that a girl notices on a guy?
I definitely have top 3.
A dick. That's what Nate's thinking.
Gray sweatpants season, baby.
I just wanted to throw that out
Also,
there.
they
Right off
fucked up the chapters here. They didn't create a new chapter for this one.
Which I feel like is a lot of things. But I would say height,
His nipples
eyes,
sticking through his
and
shirt.
smile. More focus. I think in order it would be the smile first. Like, teeth are a big deal for me. I like nice
Well,
teeth.
in order to see the smile, you might have to be moving your head up or down. So I'm gonna interrupt and say height is probably the first thing you're gonna notice. Sorry, that's just like order of operations.
He's in
kind of
his head
situation.
thinking maybe a little less teeth.
Less teeth. What does that mean?
Do you seriously not know?
No.
Sexually.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. I'm sorry. Anyway.
I'm not going to
Would you-
assume that's a problem.
Like a guy to go all out and say how he truly feels, or if he plays hard to get.
No. I don't like that hard to get stuff.
You're asking a
No.
a grown ass fucking woman. I don't know if a grown married woman would ever want anything to do with games.
I don't think
right?
anybody wants to fucking play games unless it's like part of the like fun time. But I don't think that's actually.
I love Monopoly.
I don't think that's actually helpful to anyone because all it does, people just get fucking confused. Someone ends up with their feelings hurt. Someone's heartbroken. Somebody doesn't understand. Like, it just turns into a whole thing. And then what happens? People come to me in therapy and they say, we have communication issues. And that is the root because we've just normalized that it's okay to like ghost somebody and then not say anything and then to come back like a week later and pretend like everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay.
Is it playing hard to get or is it communication issues?
God, like, seriously.
If you're going to play hard to get, make sure that you know how to communicate first.
Or are you just an asshole and you're using it to be like, oh, I just am complex and like to play games? Like, well,
odds are you're probably not that complex.
go play a fucking board game. Like, this is real life. Like, this is why you don't get bitches.
Go play Battleship.
I just like transparency and honesty. Like, that's what I told him in the beginning of our relationship is I am not about these games that people play. I don't like that. It's such a waste of time. Like, if you're dating to marry somebody, don't waste your time playing games. Like, just be straightforward. And if both of you are that way, you'll get where you're... That's what I told him in the beginning of our relationship.
Yes.
He
I'm
does.
not about these games that people play. I don't like that. It's such a waste of time.
My man is
Like, if
staying
you're
hydrated.
dating to marry somebody, don't waste
That's
your time
probably
playing
coffee.
games. Like, just be straightforward. And if both of you are that way, you'll get where you're trying to go, like, way faster than you will if you're trying to play games.
Yeah, I would say if I could go back in time and give my younger self advice during the dating stage, it would be to not be worried about the whole playing games. Like, I really believed back in the day that, oh, well, if I show that I'm too interested, they're not going to like me and all this. And I think that was true for a lot of the
I hope back in the day is when you were a teenager, not like right before you met Sutton.
times. But my advice would be if you show them that you're interested and that you're just being genuine and authentic with how you feel towards them and they don't like you, then it just wasn't meant to happen. It wasn't meant to be. So it's a great way of filtering out the weeds, you know, filtering out the ones that aren't meant to be your...
A weed?
Feet.
Is
I'm
that
calling
a
the
weed?
police. Filtering out the weeds. He combined filtering out and weeding out into one.
Together.
Nice. Love
your
that.
future spouse and getting to the one that is.
I also feel like it's so much more natural to be yourself.
I remember when I was dating, and it was always like, don't play games. You don't want to be buying gifts and dinner for someone else's eternal companion.
Oh, brother. Gag
That's
me
how
with a
you
spoon.
feel,
Right.
and it's so much effort to try to play a game. Like, I don't think that comes naturally to us. Like, play games, it's like you're really thinking about it. Like, well, should I answer him now or should I wait an hour? Like, who cares?
And on the opposite end of the spectrum, I believe that you could potentially meet the one that you're supposed to be with, and if you play these games, then it might not work out because they're not going to be about that. How can you tell when girls are flirting rather than just being nice?
Ooh.
Let's hear it, Jordan.
Well,
Let's hear your best.
if you are an efficient communicator and you are really unsure, then you can use your communication skills and ask.
Whoa. For real?
If it's
For real life?
for real life.
Damn.
And if it's somebody that you don't know very well or somebody that you've just met or like it's just somebody you saw like somewhere on the bus, like maybe don't lead with the assumption that they're flirting with you.
I think default should be they're just being nice.
Default should be they're being nice because when women aren't nice to men, they get murdered. So we're kind of just default nice to everyone anyway. And so maybe like default to they're being nice instead of they're flirting with me and want to have sex with me. So maybe let's just do that.
There you go.
That's a hard one because I do feel like, depending on the girl, that is hard to tell. Because some people are just like so nice that I feel bad for them when everyone thinks they're flirting with them, but really it's just how they are. But I would say, if I had to choose something, I would say maybe like touching. Like if they're like laughing at you and like touching you, they're definitely trying to flirt with you. But if they're just like laughing at your joke, it could just be very innocent of like they're just laughing
Don't
at your
speak
joke.
too broadly now.
Okay, but here's the thing. Nate, you fucking idiot.
Don't speak too broadly now.
His idiocy just threw me off track.
Do you want me to rewind it a couple seconds?
No. Oh, okay. No. I got it. So notice how that question also kind of defaults to the woman being the problem. Because if you think about it, a lot of times men are the one with the issue. Because if I just am like holding the door open for you and like smile and I'm like, thank you, and they're like, wow, she wants to fuck me, then this isn't a woman problem. This is a you problem.
You need to put the dog back in the kennel,
So
bro.
maybe use your critical thinking skills and up your emotional IQ and think about it before you just assume that she's flirting with you.
Well put, Jordan.
It could just be very innocent of like they're just laughing
Don't
at your
speak
joke.
too broadly now.
What?
Maybe you should say, if I'm touching you, then I'm flirting.
Oh, okay.
Does muscle mass matter?
Does muscle mass? Are you serious?
This question brought to you by Nate.
I was going to say, Nate fucking put this question in here. His little...
To me,
Just for that reason, we're going to skip this question.
Here, I'll sum it up for you. Fat phobia! Okay, now we'll skip.
So,
There we go.
to other girls on a regular basis.
regular basis in life, I would say no, but I would say the comparison trap comes through like Instagram, through pictures. When I'm like talking to girls, no, that doesn't happen. Like when I'm with friends or at church or wherever and I'm talking to people, I don't feel like I'm ever comparing myself, but it comes when I'm like looking at Instagram, like through filters and through certain poses and like how people make themselves look. I think we all kind of fall prey to that, unfortunately.
The evil of social media. Speaking of, if you guys are looking for a great Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma, we just watched that last week, and I think that's something every person should watch. Do girls think it's odd if a guy prays for the meal on a first date?
Absolutely not. For me.
She caught it before I was going to say
For me. Right?
I mean, it is. That is a very specific thing. And if you're a religious person and another religious person prays at the table, I mean, I don't think that's that fucking wild. If McKay did that, like on our first date, I would have been a little peeved, but just because I think that's like too much. But that's just my bad Mormon showing.
Right. I just want to share a scripture. Just keep this in mind if you're going to be going out on a date in public and praying over your food. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by men. So I just share this because when I was a Mormon missionary, of course, I have to bring up my Mormon missionary story, right? We would do that, dude. We would, as missionaries, we would have our little meeting, and then we would go out to eat, and we would say a prayer vocally in the restaurant, and then
In song?
We're gonna gloss over that. And then one day, somebody was like, "Guys, this is kind of like we want to be seen." I was like, "That's fucking right." I mean, you can pray quietly or whatever, but man, just take into account. Do your thing.
That would be super attractive to me if I was on a date with the first guy and he's bold enough to like pause what we're doing and say, "I'm going to bless the food." I'd be like, "Wow, that's so nice."
Nate didn't do that.
Bless this Nashville hot chicken that it might not absolutely destroy me later tonight. Thank you.
And I would hope most girls, I mean,
In
you
the name of
guys watching
Jesus.
this channel, you're probably majority Christian, so I would think that the majority of girls
Whoops.
that you would be interested in would like that.
How come you guys aren't straightforward with things?
This one's funny because this is the one, like, I kind of...
I think this is the
What
setup
is-
to the clip that I wanted to show.
But we just transitioned from like questions guys are afraid to ask girls to why are you guys not straightforward about
Is this
things?
a Q&A now?
What the
Suddenly it's a Q&A.
Where did this come from?
Okay.
answer over these questions at first, and I saw this one, and I was like, why do we do that? Like, I didn't know the answer. At first, I was like, I don't do that. I'm not.
Oh, this is in relation to just girls, not them.
Oh. Okay.
We were
I
both
see now.
confused. We were both
Straightforward
confused.
things. And then I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I do that sometimes. I think we all do. But I asked my sister, I'm like, why do we do that? Because I didn't know. And she had a great answer. She said,
Yeah, why do you do that? Jordan was very upfront, basically from the moment we started talking, that she wanted me to move to Utah. Which, I mean, the subtext is pretty fucking direct on
I'm
that.
around. But here, let me answer this for you.
Look at us
Particularly
now. We can't fucking leave. Good job.
here's a lesson for you, particularly with this question that she's asking. Why are we not straightforward about things? When we're talking about being straightforward, we're talking about expressing needs, because here's what tends to happen. Women don't get their needs met and men don't care. And so what happens is they stop saying anything, but then they're pissed, and so they become passive aggressive or resentful. Is that a good way to go about things? No. But here's why. Because when women traditionally express their needs to men, what happens?
Oh, you're just nagging me all the time.
Or they don't fucking care, or they don't take the time to listen, or they do what Nate does and like stare off into the distance anytime Sutton says anything. And so why would they continue putting themselves out there to be rejected again and again and again and again? Eventually, you get the picture that your needs just aren't going to get met. So either you build your communication skills, call them out, and be like, fucking listen to me, or your marriage goes to shit. Those are your options. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's why women do that. Generally speaking, if we want to talk about the effect of patriarchy and misogyny on women in society, like that's a pretty concrete example. Does that apply to every single person right now? No. But I think that is by and large something that I see that's common with women particularly is not expressing needs. And it's generally after demonstrations and past behavior and evidence of not caring when they tried to get their needs met. And now, thanks to Christianity and stupid fucking traditional gender norms, it's just become expected that women don't get their needs met. Like, you're a good housewife, you sit down, you shut the fuck up, and you deal with it. Like, that's just the context of the situation.
It's literally been the butt of the joke on sitcoms for like decades now.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's getting a little tired. Let's maybe move on and grow up and evolve. We don't have to stay the same way. But seriously, Nate, I don't know. Maybe don't stare into the camera the whole time. I think that would make people a little uncomfortable. I don't know. I zone out too. I just maybe don't zone out for so long looking off into the distance. Just look at your partner and zone out in that situation. That way it doesn't look like you're just ignoring her. Even if you are listening. You very well could be listening the whole time, but I don't know. There is some evidence against that.
because girls tend to have a more like passive aggressive personality, which I think is true, where guys are more just like tell it like it is, straightforward, and girls are more in-depth thinkers, to where if we say something, like my example was I had to go to urgent care one day and I wanted Nathaniel to keep the boy so I could go by myself.
Did you just see what he did with his face? He's like, oh shit.
I want you guys to watch very, very closely looking at his face. Don't look at Sutton, just look at his face.
I might even zoom it in so you can just focus on that.
And like we were kind of going back and forth about it, trying to make a plan, and I was like, never mind, I'll just take them. Like thinking he would know, okay, she doesn't want to go to an appointment and sit there for an hour with two little kids running around. Maybe I should watch them. But he just took it for what it was of what I said, and he was like, oh, you're going to take them? Okay, great. See you when you get back. And I was like, oh my gosh, like just like seething mad that he didn't catch on that I'm being sarcastic. So I feel like we kind of think, like, when we get annoyed about something, we maybe bring out some sarcasm and assume that the guy will pick up on the sarcasm and know what we really want, but it just doesn't happen because guys just take it for what it is. So lesson to everyone, maybe we should not do that. And lesson to the guys, maybe you should pick up on that if we do it.
Stick to reality here. Okay, next.
So fucking wounded.
He was fucking
Wounded. He is a beat up little bird.
seriously.
And you can easily see going from the, like, this is hurtful and offensive because of my own fucking actions to I'm getting fucking pissed and how can I make this your fucking problem? Because looking at this situation, this is a perfect example of not being able to read her needs. She's fucking sick. She doesn't want to go to urgent care with fucking kids. Would I want to do that?
Yeah.
I only have one, and no fucking way. I would stay home and die rather than go to urgent care with my toddler. Like, there's no way. No
She's
way.
not even kidding.
I'm not
Yeah.
kidding.
I mean, there is, to an extent, there's an excuse for you. There's a learning curve for understanding what your partner needs just based off of context clues. But I mean, this is just like staring him right in the face. And he's like,
This is
okay,
pretty
have
black
a good
and white.
time.
Your wife is fucking sick and she doesn't want to take the kids to urgent care and you can watch them. But somehow yet you're going to make her take the kids to urgent care. Like, are you fucking serious?
Instigate.
Like, how do I break this down for you in a way that makes sense? Your wife is sick.
Yeah, she shouldn't be watching the kids as it is.
This isn't even like a cryptic thing where she's like passive aggressively being like, you know, do I want to do this or do I want to, like, this is a pretty fucking easy situation to put together. Like, yeah, she's going to fucking say, I'll just take him because you're being a fucking dick. Like,
She
how
shouldn't even
hard
have
is
to
it?
tell you. You
No.
should have been right there, honestly.
That shouldn't have even been a question.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? And then he's all fucking miffed about it. And then he goes, let's stick to reality. Like, yeah, because you know you're a piece of shit and you ain't going to change.
Karma, baby.
That's fucked, man.
You're
This
losing
is
the
like,
house because of that karma.
this is fucking embarrassing behavior.
This is absolutely embarrassing. That's why I wanted to put it on blast, because
For married people who've been together for a hot minute, who are still young.
who apparently have been to marriage counseling.
Yeah, well, that's just, maybe they should still be in it because that situation was one to me as a person, not professionally, but as a person that I'm just like, that is so fucked. Like, that is so fucked.
Awful behavior.
Question: does it matter how much money you have?
For this one,
Yes. Rich
If you
bitches
want
only.
to buy a very expensive house, yes, it does. As you are going to come at this point, you don't know, but you are going to learn rather quickly.
for me, I would say no. Your amount of money at the time that you're dating, I would say, doesn't matter. But what does matter would be your drive and, like, do you have something going for you? Like, if I was dating a guy and they didn't have a job or, like, didn't have anything they were passionate about or no goals or anything like that, I'd be like, okay, maybe I want to rethink this. But if they're, like, driven and passionate and, like, have all these things that they want to do, then I feel like the amount of money that you have at the time that you're dating doesn't matter, as long as you know that if you marry them, you're going to be, like, financially supported.
What is a quality about guys that they may think is unattractive, but to girls is attractive?
The first thing that comes to mind, which I think is super silly, is I feel like guys maybe have a very polite and, like, considerate personality, but they may think, like, no, girls like the bad guys. Girls like when guys are, like, rude to them, which some people...
Nate, apparently. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be a fucking villain. This bitch is going to the urgent care by herself with the toddlers, and she's going to be mad. And then I'm going to be fucking wounded because of my choices, because I couldn't read the situation or chose not to.
people do, and I just think that's so silly. So I find it very attractive when a guy
That also,
is like that.
to that point, if he's noticing that she's being passive aggressive about it, then he's noticing there's something wrong. And so that
And then
should
he's
be
continuing to choose not to do anything.
right. And that's the problem, is that you're seeing that there is an issue, and you can point out that she's passive aggressive about it, but you still don't change the behavior. And like, if you pay attention to your wife, I mean, what are the other factors that we have going on here? We have body language, we have facial expression, we have intonation, we have voice level. Like, we have all these other clues that help put the Nate puzzle to understand what his wife is. And so there's like 15 million things that she probably would have been displaying in that moment, and tone probably would have been the most prominent one. And he should have picked up on that, and probably did pick up on that right off the fucking bat. And the problem here is not that he didn't pay attention, it's that he didn't care.
I consider it and polite and like respectful to you, but like we said, I'm not every girl, but I just don't think that those are the girls you should be going for. Oh shoot, my hair. Did it look like this? I mean, I didn't do anything to it.
He
What did he
definitely
say?
not pay attention.
I don't know. What the fuck did I just finish saying?
I don't know.
No, I can't see it from the front, but it's 100% falling down.
What?
What did she say at the beginning of the video?
Is there stuff in my teeth?
Oh, he asked if there was stuff in his teeth.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch that. Oh my gosh, how long has it been like that? Like, the whole thing could be bad.
That's such a weird way to end. They don't have like any sort of like outro or anything.
I'm really surprised they left that in, because that's like the most concrete example I can think of not f***ing paying attention.
Ruh-roh.
Well, this was the worst, and I hate it.
There you go. You get your little thing.
That was awful. And take it as a lesson, kids, that communication is vital.
Yep. We understand that it might be difficult for some people to pick up on social cues.
Totally.
That's just the nature of being human. Some people have some skills and some people don't. But communication is a skill that everybody can develop.
For most people, reading social cues and picking up on unspoken or nonverbal body language, those kinds of things, generally speaking, for most people, are skills that can be built and learned.
And circumvented if you just communicate.
Like, there's not... Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm just not happy with this, so
Nate
I'm
has
just
no
gonna shut
excuse.
up. No, he doesn't.
If he can buy a house that's too expensive for him, he can understand that his wife doesn't want to go to urgent care with two fucking kids.
Well, let me tell you what that is. That's an example of letting one person make the fucking decisions. That's what that is.
Goofed.
Yeah, but men are just these intelligent beings, and women are just so emotional.
Dude, imagine giving up a perfectly good house to move into your dream home, and then you can't do it. So you have to find some other house.
Everybody makes mistakes, but this is just fucking bad.
That could have been avoided. This isn't even like a trend that's like their YouTube views have been down for a while. Probably before their house.
So if they relied on that income, that would scare me, that's for sure.
That's for sure. Anyway, let's wrap this baby up, swaddle it, put it to bed.
Will it swaddle?
Will it swaddle? Yeah, Christian influencers, man, they aren't to play. Don't even trust ex-Mormons or anyone. Don't trust influencers of any sort. Always be critical of people. Always push back on ideas. And everything will turn out okay. How about that? That's all. Those are the words of wisdom that I have for you. This
Gospel according to McKay.
This December evening, depending on where you're living and when you're watching this. Well, I want to give a shout out to our awesome, I'm going to put the patrons and the members first this time. Last week, somebody said on Patreon, they made a comment that their name wasn't in there. And I watched it back. I realized that apparently somewhere along the way, my algorithms or my algorithms in Excel to get the names organized broke because there was a lot of doubles of people's names. So I'm going to redo it this week. Your name better be there this time. If it's not, I will refund your money because honestly, that's annoying. But our patrons are awesome. Our members are awesome. It's the same thing. One's just on the YouTube side. One is on the Patreon side. You can get ad-free content. You can support us. It's
Exclusive
awesome.
content, some funny videos on there that we don't share with the public for
check it out. Bloopers
generally
and
good
stuff.
reason.
Yeah, it's things that make us look like even more goofballs than we are.
Go back and watch the live stream from this week if you haven't already. We made a candlestick salad.
Yep, I showed off a previously unknown talent, so check that out. Don't look at the comments before you see it. I don't want to ruin the surprise for you.
I don't have words.
And yeah, we do live streams every week. It's awesome. Come and join us sometime. If you like what you see and you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell for notifications when we upload and we go live and stuff like that. Helps us out a bunch. Again, I'm not going to go too far into it, but check out the merch store. Link is down in the description down below. You can also follow along with us. Jordan posts on the Instagram. We have a bunch of other older content on our TikTok. You can find us on both of those. And some newer. Yeah, we posted a lot along almost 2 years ago now that we got on TikTok. Holy shit. You can go find us on either of those at Jordan and McKay. It's awesome. It's fun. Check it out. We also have a super cool Discord. If you would like to go and join our Discord community, it's not just ex-Mormons. There are never Mormons. They're probably not Mormons because it's all about making fun of Mormonism. But
a lot of other religions.
A lot of other people. Witchy
spiritual people, witchy people, pagan people.
Every kind of person under the sun. Go check it out. We have a lot of fun over there. Fun chats. So thank you to everybody who made it this far. We love you. We hope you have a great holiday, whichever that is. And we will see you soon.